Hi friends! The number one question I always get asked is, how are you? I'm great, how are you? My name is Investigator Adams and I am here in the middle of nowhere, Missouri, and we are actually going to get a very special predator. This is the person who sexually abused me. So we are going after a person who has sexual predator tendencies, and they actually harmed me and my cousins as well. So I hope that we get some good footage and a great interview with him. Talk to you later. Bye.
Hey, Mr. Cook, how are you doing?
Yes.
Howdy.
That's me. How are you guys?
Good. I'm
Pretty
Lisa.
good.
Lisa?
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Actually, nice to see you again.
Again?
Yes.
Where did you see me before?
I've seen you in Pleasant Grove, Utah.
You have?
I have, yep. You might know me as Lisa Barnett.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I do.
Yep. I don't think that you understand like the effect you've had on my life, and I tried to take care of this myself, and it's just been met with disaster. So.
Well, Lisa, I'm actually, honestly, I'm glad you're here.
Are you?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Um,
Do you mind if we sit down? Like.
yeah, let's do.
Please.
You want to come in?
Yeah, that would be great. You know, it's been kind of a very painful situation for me, and here I am, kind of cleaning up a mess that, you know, you essentially made, and I'm the one that's paying the price for it. You know, did you get therapy or counseling for what?
We did. My family did.
Okay, your family did?
Who are you? and I'm sure that this took a lot of courage on your behalf, and courage that I have no idea how much, or I mean, because I haven't been in your shoes, and you're right. This is something that has been on my mind for a long time, as long as it's, or maybe even longer than it's been on your mind, because when these things happen, you were probably too young to even know.
Which makes it even more painful.
It does.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I would like to hope and think that I'm a pretty decent guy, that makes some really, really foolish, poor decisions. And those very poor decisions have been very heavy on me. Even though I've gone through, I mean, when these incidents took place, I honestly don't recall the ages that I was. I mean, this has been, I'm 50 years old now.
Right.
And so after the incident, I kind of I mean, I think I kind of got my life together, put in papers to go on my mission, started the mission process, was in the MTC, and had all kinds of sermons, lectures, talks about the importance of cleanliness and worthiness, and all of the memories, they just flooded back into my mind. And so I immediately went and spoke to a branch president, and he said, okay, these are some heavy things. We've got to get them taken care of. You got to remember, in Utah, it doesn't take a large geographic area to make a ward. And so he may have been a bishop, just not a bishop. I really honestly don't know what his calling was at the time. But I'm trying to remember the name of my bishop. It was, and the bishop that I had, I can see where he lived. He was like a speech pathologist. So he's the one that picked me up from the MTC. He picked me up from the MTC. We drove to the church where he called my parents. My parents came, and we sat and we talked about everything that happened. And I don't remember if it was that day or the next day. We went down and saw the chief of police, my parents. And I explained to him what had happened. At the time, yeah, I was mission age, and as part of, so after I left the police station, I really don't know what happened. I know I wrote letters to your mom and dad. I wrote letters to Doug and Shauna. And I remember Doug came and visited me. And I was terrified because, honestly, I mean, I love that family. And this isn't my pain. This should not be my pain. This is yours. So I'm sorry.
So you said that you wanted to happen after Mike Fury left then, when you left the police station.
I just remember that he had to meet with the families.
Okay.
And see what kind of charges that they wanted to press or anything like that. That was my assumption. I mean, at that time, my mind was I was so overwhelmed. In your old's mind, I didn't think I did a whole lot. There was touching. With Leslie, there was more than that.
Yeah, because I've seen like what happened with her. Yeah,
but for everybody out there was touching, and I don't want to take away from that.
Right.
But in my 19-year-old mind, I didn't really think I'd done a whole lot. Downstairs, I think you were sitting on my lap, and I reached in between your legs and touched you.
Because I was told that it was when I was sleeping over the cook's house that's when it happened. With Leslie and I was sleeping over the cook's house with Leslie, and that's when it happened.
My memory is really, I mean, it was a long time ago. So that is what I remember.
Okay.
And so again, as a 19-year-old, I was even kind of surprised that I had to leave the MTC. But I'm glad that I did, because it really opened my eyes to the reality and the seriousness. And it allowed me to go through counseling. It allowed me to speak to the police department. I don't think it really, I don't think it made any, I don't think it bridged any gap between
Actually,
family.
your bishop and the chief of police talked, and the thing was buried.
Well, I know for a fact that, well, I wrote letters, so I know I wrote letters, and I know for a fact that Doug and Shauna were contacted because he came and spoke to me. And from what he explained to me, it sounded like he had even spoken to some members of his family. He said that he had talked to Colby, and that Colby wasn't holding any grudges. And so, whether that's factual or not, I don't know. I know that my relationship with their family has not been the same. And part of that may have been on my own reluctance to, just out of shame, to engage with them. So, I don't know. I don't know those conversations. I was not informed of anything other than I went and explained everything to the chief of police.
You actually did.
So I think like the most traumatizing thing was being sat down by my parents and told that information, and just pretty much being given nothing. And my parents treated me differently the rest of my life.
Very, very sorry for that. And I think that's part of the problem with these kinds of things. My wife knows. Known before we got married. She lived not too far down the road. Actually, her mom married Uncle Doug.
I've spoken to her too, and I did not find her very comforting or pleasant. Just basically get over it.
Well,
So-
Janet has gone through similar.
Well, that was the whole point, is that she was trying to say how hers was so bad that she was never going to get over it, but I needed to just get over mine. So there wasn't really any kind of way of coming together on that. So at that point, I realized that I was on my own in terms of trying to find some sort of justice and healing.